So let's just settle into our meditation posture. There was one woman this morning who was asking about this evening's practice. I don't know if she's going to come, but we'll see. I'm not even sure whereabouts she was. Okay. All right. So let's just land. I'm not sure what the weather's like down there in New Mexico or wherever you are in the US, but here it is extremely hot. So we've all been melting, as have our gardens. So whatever the temperature is at your place, try and just bring the mind to the body and just settle as best you can. And notice what thoughts are arising in your mind right now. And just allow them without judgment or opinion. And then check your sitting posture, feet and legs, sits bones raised, and hands in the meditation mudra, or, if you wish, you can have your hands resting on your knees, just whatever is most comfortable for you for this practice. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. Just imagine someone is above you, lengthening your spine, like a puppeteer, stretching out all those muscles along the back of the spine. Take a nice deep breath, just relax. And as you relax, imagine your spine lengthening. Head is slightly tipped forward, eyes down, looking along the length of the nose and tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And just relax the jaw. Relax the forehead and the eyes, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the head, that scalp area there at the occipital bone. Relax the ear, the inner ear, the temples, the jaw again. And if you're experiencing any tension in the back of the neck, just release that, let it go. Relax your shoulders, allow them to drop down. Shoulder blades dropping down. Relax the neck, the chest, the belly, limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And notice the sensation of the air. Just very simple. Breathing in and breathing out. And particularly Lorraine, just make it very gentle. I'm sure you're breathing quite well, but you're feeling it. So the operation you've had is like it's major trauma to the body. It's probably inflamed. So as much as you can relax your mind will help the healing process. So everybody except Lorraine, take a nice deep breath. And if there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to have the mind wander off and investigate or get distracted, and then bring the mind back to the breath and bring your attention to your thoughts again. And just notice what's arising. And just allow it without criticism or judgment or opinions. And try and look at it with curiosity as an objective observer. Oh, look, there's some jealousy, there's some insecurity. And just notice it being there rather than kind of trying to push it away or hide it under the bed. Just allow it. And try not to judge. And then just let it flow. The thoughts arise. They'll abide for a moment and then they just flow on without you becoming entangled or being swept away or some story. And bring the mind back to the breath. If you wish, you can imagine you're sitting on the bank of your river of mental moments, watching, just an observer. So while you're not in the river, you're free from that river. So let's just bring to mind all the people of our life, the ones we love and care about, these people who are so important in our lives. We have strong connections with them, we love them. And then there's those people in our life who we find kind of irritating and annoying or just really harmful. And then there's those people who are strangers. Maybe we see them fleetingly. Don't think about them. But this friend, this enemy, and this stranger could change place at any time. And they all have this unbelievable capacity for this enlightened mind. They all have a wish to be happy, just like you, and a wish to be free from suffering, just like you. So then we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and thinking particularly of Lorraine and her healing process. May it be quick and trouble-free as we move into our practice. So think there is no negativity that cannot be purified. We create negativity with our mind. The karma we create, it starts in the mind. Then the body and the speech follows. So just as easily we could turn that around. You know, plasticity is a thing. We just have to get on top of our habits. So we're going to create positivity with our mind instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. Perhaps things you don't remember as well. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot, we understand all about suffering. We probably don't want to invite any more into our life. So therefore it makes sense, logically, it makes sense to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I am sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods we can use to purify. So we're not asking for forgiveness here. We really just want to take responsibility for ourselves. This is what the regret is about. It's not guilt. Oh, I'm such a bad person, please forgive me. No, I regret doing this thing. What can I do about it? Oh, here's something. Let me use these methods. This will help. So this is how we do. So we visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can imagine this is also your teacher, your Lama, manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud. And just like our enlightened potential, which is born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. So he has this brilliant, radiant, white face, translucent. He's beautiful, symmetrical. His eyes are shaped like lotus petals, and they're long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. This symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. And actually Vajrasattva in this Tanka image doesn't have his arms crossed, but you can still imagine it. Normally you would see in the pictures that he does. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here we are to our little section on compassion again. I mean, this is something that we can practice during the day. You know, we can do it by trying to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. You know, our grandma taught us that. Well, mine did. Try and see something from the other person's perspective. So we think in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we've harmed and those who've harmed us. So think first of all, maybe of someone you've harmed recently or in the past. And try and develop a sense in your mind, a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then remember those who have harmed you, and I know it can be a little bit more difficult, this one. So maybe start with someone who's harmed you not so greatly. So just a small harm. And try and develop compassion for them, a wish for them to be free from suffering. And make a strong aspiration to do this practice, this purification practice, for the benefit of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine where we do the practice with the visualization and mantra recitation. So first we start with the purification of the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, very forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sipokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawasidi mepiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sipokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebawa sutokaya mebawa sipokaya mebawa anarakta mebawa sawa siddhi mimpiyata sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Didu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Didu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Didu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Didu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is a purification of speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows quite powerfully and disappears into space. Not one atom left. So you can imagine that all the things you do with your speech, like gossip and harsh speech and useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is completely purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Didu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Didu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Didu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So the next is a purification of the mind, and imagine Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light, this time from his heart chakra. So just imagine this light pouring from Vajrasattva's heart into your heart, filling you completely. So it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. The light instantly dispels the darkness. So just imagine the same here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart and instantly dispels all that negative energy from your mind. So all kind of dark thoughts, jealousy, depression, grudges, bitterness, wishing to harm, kind of ignorance, not understanding things, resentment, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. They're gone. So I think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and bliss and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom. I mean, this is who you really are. All this other stuff is just junk layered on top. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So as we've been doing, if you wish, you can recite just a couple of mantras for each of the visualizations we've just done, or imagine light and nectar pouring into you, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprint of negative energy from your mind as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa Anarakta mibawa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa Anarakta mibawa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa Anarakta mibawa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa Anarakta mibawa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samayam manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mibawa sutokaya mibawa supokaya mibawa Anarakta mibawa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step. So here we just make a decision, as we've been doing. I'm going to refrain from such and such. And just choose something that's doable, a timeline that's doable. So if you find yourself gossiping, you find yourself squashing flies, you find yourself engaging in sort of negative self-talk, you can decide to refrain from it. And then when you notice yourself doing these things, you say, okay, so I'm going to stop this for 5 minutes or 10 minutes overnight while I'm sleeping. That's always a good one, because you'll just be asleep. You won't be doing anything particularly with intention anyway. And this decision that we make to refrain from harming is what gives us the strength to change. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us, and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE calls this union oneness. So no legs, and let's Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In the emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. And we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they're existing. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this purification to all living beings, including our precious Lorraine. And think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Hu Tub Shul Chang Shin Jam Gon Gyalaway Tenzing kyang pelway kunzo dog porze. Chog sum gurway leg mon to drub. Pa dog sog dulje gondu jab ten shok. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. There we are, almost halfway through the week. It's going so fast yet again. Okay, everybody, take care, stay safe, lots of love and sweet dreams. And thank you very much for hosting, Shayla.